Checking out the ceiling, are you? Well, as I told you, it's going to be patched up. I mean, and they're making good progress. Speaking of patches, welcome to Kickstarter update number 32, in which we are going to be talking about the new Divinity Original Sin 2 patch, which is launching, I guess, now. So, let's go and have a look at what you're going to find in the next patch. And while we're doing that, maybe we can have a look at what the artists are doing. This is where Maxime is sitting, and he's working on a badass demon. This is a blood demon. You're going to find him somewhere in Act 2, I think. Well, actually, I know. And then this looks to be a badass skeleton. Oh god, a whole bunch of badass skeletons. They're pretty cool. Okay, I have a soft spot for skulls. And then Joachim here, he's surfing the internet, pretending to work hard and looking at his lists of loot and assets and resources and all the fun stuff that an art director does. And then he had something on the screen. He removed it. Okay, well, he doesn't want you to see it. And Anna here, she's working on the decoration of the Under Tavern, which is a place under Driftwood where you're going to have quite a lot of interesting adventures. So we can't look in too much detail, otherwise we're doing spoilers, don't watch that. And this looks like another badass demon, lots of demons in this game. And what's the name of this demon?
Demon Caster.
Demon Caster, how original, but it's... Thanks, Alana. And then as we get in here, look at it, it's one of those bone things that we were looking at. And he's going to be animating it. Look, it's moving already. It's moving. It's not moving a lot, but it will be moving a lot. All right, and so, look, Joyka is doing the lightning. We'll finally have some decent lightning in the game, so she's working on the shader for the lightning. So that's going to be kick-ass. I mean, now it's just lightning, but when it's going to come out of the pulse of that, for instance, Demon Caster you saw, then it's going to be pretty cool. And Thierry, you've been working on something very cool, I think, together with the guys in Quebec.
Yeah, exactly.
You've been setting up a new system. What is it?
Well, we're making sure that the attack animations that will be coming into the game, that they will be actually connecting with the target.
Oh man, I'm so happy about that, because this is something we always got wrong, right? Every time in all our previous games, whenever you hit something, it was not as if it connected to the body, but it was literally like, oh, I hit something! It went through the character. So, anyway, yeah. I'm very happy about this.
So we straightened that out, and we're expecting a lot better results.
Can you show it?
Well, sure. I was just reviewing some of the work that the animators in Quebec were doing.
Okay.
And here you see the male elf who is doing an attack with a two-handed axe.
Yeah.
And this is how it looks.
Okay,
and
cool.
so what we actually did, these rings you see here, they're like the ranger or the ranges or the personal space that they have. So these guys, first change we did is they cannot exit that space. In the past we did that, and that gave problems with all kind of things.
You got a lot of clipping problems this way.
Exactly. So that was the first step, get rid of that. The second thing we did is we made little capsules like we have in the game, capsules. And then we calculated the range. In this case for the two-handed axe is going to be 1.70 meters. So if you play the animation, you're going to see like he's going to hit it. He's going to slash right through the target here.
Okay. Cool.
So these values we give them to the gameplay program.
So you see you have a whole bunch of ranges, and that's going to correspond to the different types of weapons.
Yeah.
And then the game is going to recognize, I'm fighting with this type of weapon against this type of view. That's the range that I need to get into to be able to connect with him.
That's right.
So what does it look like in game?
Well, we have a couple of test cases in the game. Not everything is provided with this. But if you pick like a male dwarf and a male lizard, you can already play around with it. So I'm gonna take the male lizard and I'm gonna strike this dwarf here. So he walks to it and slash.
Perfect. Okay.
So we have
I see that the blood has also been updated. Excellent.
Yeah, there's the effects guys also in Quebec. They're also doing a really good job.
Yeah. Okay.
Now the dwarf, he has a shorter range, so he needs to walk a little bit closer to the lizard before he needs to stab it.
Ah, excellent.
And there.
Yeah, that feels a lot better. I mean, they're not hitting through each other anymore, and it looks like that feels a lot more powerful, and then with a nice juicy sound on top of it, that'll be good. Now, is this in the patch already?
This example that I showed is in the patch, so the players can actually reproduce this, but not all characters, not all monsters have this yet.
Okay, so we'll see placeholders in there.
There's still a lot of placeholders in there, and it's going to be a process of a couple of months before everything is...
Alright, but it's as time progresses, as we update the game, you'll see more and more better connecting animations, also new animations actually, because you're updating all of the combat animations. Super cool. Alright, excellent. This is going to look really, really nice. What's Peter doing? What is he doing? What are you doing? You're doing some creature. This is just a joyful game, man. I mean, it's like everybody's happy. It's like, okay, there's a creature hanging on a cross for some reason. We don't know what that reason is yet, but we'll find out when the game is going to progress. Okay, let's go down, Thomas, because there's big news on the Nick and David front. What's Ilya doing? Ilya, what are you doing?
I'm working on the statues that come to life.
Don't say too much details. But you're working on something, and this is Driftwood, right?
No, this is...
Oh, it's art. Okay, never mind. Well, we're not talking about that. And then we have Faring, and Faring is just waiting on the loading screen of the game. And then it's not working, so he's not very happy.
Jira. Bug fixing.
And then we have David here. And David, what have you been doing?
You mean the last week or the last month?
Well, you had big news, and but I also about the game.
Okay, so apart from changing diapers and making bottles,
David became a daddy, so congratulations, David.
Thank you. We started hand placing treasure.
This is. I think that I know quite a few community members that are going to be really happy that we're doing that.
So it's not as easy as it sounds, because we want to keep the balancing that we currently have. So the idea is that in the prison, so on the beach for instance, and before you go through the fortress, good gear and good weapons must be very scarce. And that's the idea. So we are hand placing some stuff here and there to make sure that you have some weapons, that you have some gear, but you still need to be super happy when you find an actual weapon, when you find a magic weapon finally. So we're not planting greens and blues and uniques and this and that, but and we're also trying to keep it very organic. So, because I think that if you just put chests here and drop weapons there, it might feel very unnatural, and it's just going to rip you out of the world as it is now.
No, I think it's going to be, I mean, well, finding the right balance on this is not an easy thing, but we still have time. We're still working on the game, so hopefully we'll manage. We'll see what you guys think. Now, is there a lot of that hand-placed loot in this version of the patch already? The programmers are getting super excited, which means that they probably fixed something. Apparently not. So anyway, is that going to be in the patch, the hand-placed loot?
I think about 7 or 8 items are already in there.
Oh, you still have a whole bunch of them to do then?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Well, if you find the 7 or 8 items that David placed, think of him. All right? And so, Nick, because you had a hand in some of the major changes that are present in this particular patch.
Yes, we did.
And we're really curious to hear what people are going to be thinking about it. Explain what we did.
Yeah, since the start of early access, we've read a lot of feedback, some very strongly worded feedback, and we decided to completely recreate from scratch the attribute system in our game. We went through several prototypes. Because we had so many goals for our system, it had to be impactful from the very beginning. You should feel every point you put in your character, but it should also allow you a lot of freedom in how you create a character. You should be able to create hybrids, specialists, whatever you want. So to that end, we finished with this system that you will be able to see after update hits. Strength, finesse and intelligence now provide a large percentage bonus to the damage of corresponding skills and attacks, but also strength gives you more physical armor. So even if you are a mage and you don't really want to be strong, you don't usually care about heavy lifting, you still would like to put at least a couple of points in strength to keep your physical armor up, which is very important if you don't want to be knocked down every time, every combat.
So what happens if for instance, I don't put points in strength? What can I do as a mage to make sure that I don't get knocked down every single turn?
Well, you will have to watch your positioning, or you will have to put some points into memory and get some utility skills to get the enemies out of the way, to jump away from danger, and basically to not to stand in harm's way.
All right, cool. And so, talking about memory, some changes were done on the memory side also, right?
Yes, indeed. So we now give you one memory slot per each point in memory. So every point now actually counts and you can fill it. But also we give you a small amount of memory for free with levels. I think every second level you get one memory slot for free. Right. So you can get a lot more skills and your playstyle is going to be a lot more varied throughout the game.
And there's also a talent that gives you some extra memory points, if I'm not mistaken.
It's called mnemonic.
All right. And so you've also been fooling around with the abilities?
Yes, so for the abilities, we didn't quite feel that the old defense abilities were very exciting. So we introduced a new defense ability that allows you to reflect damage onto the attackers. So for example, you can have a very tanky character and just kill enemies by just standing in fire and getting hit very, very hard. But also we revamped leadership and made a combat ability out of it that helps allies around you in small area, but the bonus is very, very strong.
Okay. And did anything else change on the abilities?
For the abilities, we reduced the cap on the abilities, but now each point gives you a much stronger bonus. Okay. So even 1 point in ability is really felt. Right. We also changed a few things with how weapons behave. For example, if you're wearing a shield, you now have a free skill that's called Recover Armor, and it gives you the amount of armor that your shield has. This skill actually comes directly from forums. We really like the idea that we saw. It was feedback from fans. But also, if you have a two-hander, like a huge mace, you now get a new free skill for a heavy attack to deal a little bit of extra damage if you have more AP to spend than usual.
Mm-hmm. And so we did the same thing, I think, also for single-handed weapons?
Yeah, single-handed weapons now have a little sneaky move that's called Sucker Punch, that allows you to knock down the opponent with a very unexpected hit. So even though your damage is of course lower than the dude with huge two-hander, you can control the battlefield a lot better, and because you're nimble, you can control one character, deal damage to another, run away.
Dual wielding also got an extra skill, right?
Yeah, it's flurry. It's also heavy attack that allows you to put in more damage than you would normally be able to.
And so these skills, you get them automatically whenever you change your weapon style?
For free, yeah.
For free, so you don't have to put any points, no memory into them also. Okay, well that sounds pretty cool. Anything else that's changed?
We went through every single fight in Fort Joy, and in some cases we gave enemies new skills. We tried to look at what each fight was trying to teach the player and kind of really highlight that. So if we thought that fight was supposed to teach you how relevant was high ground, we really dialed it up to 11.
Yeah, so you, for instance, like battles like Niles the Flancer, you change those dramatically so that...
No, you really have to control all of the mid golems, otherwise you will get steamrolled.
So what happens if I can't control them? Because I don't have control skills with me.
You need to watch your positioning. You can pre-position before the fight. You need to be careful. Like there are a lot of tactics. Again, with the new defensive ability, Pain Reflection, you can be just very, very, very tanky. You can put all your points in Pain Reflection, and luckily they will just kill themselves.
Okay, alright,
If you can keep healing yourself, keep applying Fortify, keep using the new shield skill to get more and more armor.
Alright, okay.
Maybe it's possible. I would really love to see what kind of tactics players come up with.
Yeah, I would like to see what that does in the arena also at some point.
That too.
Yeah. So you mentioned forum feedback. One of the big topics that was launched is the entire durability debate.
Oh yes. The durability debate.
Yeah, but that's not in yet, right?
No.
Okay, so but we can say that we have something.
Yeah, we have something we'll like.
Don't mention it yet.
Some of the feedback. Yeah. So we have an idea that we like. It's gonna go through our internal testing first, and I think maybe next patch.
Okay, cool. So yeah, this is an important thing to highlight actually. Thank you, Nick.
Yep.
Everything that you suggest, we try it out over here. Well, not everything, but quite a lot of things. It goes through our internal QA, and often it just comes back like that's not working or that's not working for whatever reason. Some things are working, those we keep, and that's when we launch them on early access. So it's a two-step process, and that actually, since we introduced that, has reduced our ability to release patches very rapidly, because we actually have this patch already for what, 2 weeks or so?
Yeah.
And we've been holding it back every single time because QA said, well, you know guys, the balancing is actually worse than it was before, so you need to change this and this and this. And so now, hopefully, we have something that is better than what we released so far, but obviously you guys are going to tell us, and as I mentioned before, the way that we are going to measure that is not only by looking at what you tell us in the forums, but also by just looking at the numbers that are coming in. So please do hit that button that allows you to send feedback to Larian here. So what else do I have? Let's have a look if I can show you something. Well, actually, yeah, let's have a look at what Thomas is doing. Thomas is always an interesting fellow. He's working on icons, and he is working. What are you working on, Thomas? Alright, so I'm not very good with top secret stuff, so but that was super top secret. Anyway, to end with, let's have a look. You probably heard the noise of hammers on the background. So let me introduce you to the guys that are responsible for the hammers. So as you can see, our parking is not just quite ready yet. They're working on it, and soon, very soon, just like the game, this will all be done. Now the race is on for who will be first. Will we be ready with the game before these guys are ready with the parking and the things that we're doing at the lower part of our building? Or is it going to be us that are going to be ready and release Divinity Original Sin to you? Stay tuned to our Kickstarter update to find out. And before I go, there's one last thing I should mention. We're going to be doing pretty much every single PAX in the US and over the next year, I think. And that's PAX South for sure. We're going to be at PAX East. We're probably going to be at PAX Prime also. Or PAX West as it's called now. What is it, PAX Prime or PAX West? PAX in Seattle.
Oh, Prime. Prime.
Prime. All right. Anyway, so we're looking for volunteers to help us guide people through the game over there. So if you're interested, at the bottom of the Kickstarter page, you will find an email address that you can send an email to, and then we will very happily invite you to join us at one of the PAXs to help us out, and then you'll get to meet the team, you'll see all kinds of things that nobody else will see, and you'll have a lot of fun. Obviously, you have to live there or have to be able to get there. So PAX South is in San Antonio, PAX East is in Boston, and PAX Prime is in Seattle. So if you happen to live there, give a yell, and then we'll get in touch with you. Alright, that's it from me. Take care everybody, and see you soon for the next update, and have fun with our patch. Bye bye! You were killed 40,000 times. You used 900,000 skills, right? Of which the top 3 skills were Restoration, Teleportation, and Hail Strike. So you can guess which one is going to get nerfed.